You know, most men reach a certain age and start believing their best years are behind them. They look in the mirror and only see the gray hair, the laugh lines, the changes time left behind. But what if I told you the very things you think are flaws are the exact things that make you a hot older man, not in the loud attention-seeking way you see on social media, but in a deeper, magnetic, grown man way that women actually feel? Because when a man matures, something powerful begins to happen. His confidence becomes quieter, his presence becomes stronger, his energy becomes more controlled, more grounded, more irresistible. And the funny thing is, you don't think it in yourself. You don't realize how your calm tone, your steady eyes, your unshakable patience, all of that creates a pull that younger men simply can't imitate. Sign number 5, your confidence is calm, not loud. You might not even realize it, but there's something magnetic about a man who is confident without needing to prove it. Most people confuse confidence with loudness, with showing off, with constantly trying to get attention. But the truth is, the kind of confidence that makes a man truly attractive, especially as he gets older, is quiet, steady, and undeniable. Think about the last time you were in a room with someone who just commanded attention without saying much. Maybe it was the way they carried themselves, maybe it was in their calm, assured voice, or maybe it was in the way people naturally gravitated toward them. That's the kind of confidence we're talking about, and it's the first sign you're a hot older man. You've lived, you've experienced things most younger men haven't, and that shapes a concept. Not fragile, not forced, but real. It's not about having the latest car, the fanciest clothes, or the loudest voice in the room. It's about knowing who are, being comfortable in your own skin, and owning every part of your story, flaws, mistakes, triumphs, and all women, and even people in general, feel this energy. They can sense it. And here's the thing, they're drawn to it in a way that's almost instinctual because it signals security, stability, and strength without ever having to say a word. And you know what's even more powerful? This kind of confidence comes from embracing yourself fully. It comes from learning to love your experiences, even the hard ones, and understanding that every scar, every challenge you've overcome adds to your presence. You don't brag about it, you don't need approval, and you don't compare yourself to others. This is what makes older men irresistible. The quiet self-assuredness that younger men spend years chasing but rarely achieve. When you speak, it's deliberate. When you move, it's deliberate. You're no longer rushing to prove anything. That calm energy, that steady aura, it's magnetic. People notice it even if they can't put it into words. And the beauty is, you might not see it in yourself. You might feel average, ordinary, or invisible. But trust me, others are feeling it. Every interaction you have carries this quiet power that draws respect, admiration, and yes, even attraction. You've heard it before directly, but think of the men you've admired in your life. Not the loudest, not the flashiest, but the ones who walked into a room and somehow changed its energy without trying. That's the level of confidence that makes a man hot, the kind that only comes with age, experience, and self-acceptance. And once you start noticing it in yourself, once you start owning that energy, everything changes. The way people see you, the way you see yourself, the way you move through life, and the way attractions, and naturally sign number 4, you carry yourself with mature masculine energy. There's something incredibly attractive about a man who carries himself with mature masculine energy. And I'm not talking about the loud, show-off type of masculinity that you see on TV or social media. I'm talking about the kind of energy that comes from knowing your worth, respecting yourself, and living your life on your own terms. It's the energy that makes people feel safe, inspired, and drawn to you without even trying. It's subtle, yet powerful, and it's something that only comes with age and experience. You see, younger men often think masculinity is about aggression, dominance, or being the loudest in the room. But real masculinity, the kind that makes you hot as you get older, is about control, emotional balance, and presence. It's about walking into a room and instantly affecting the atmosphere without saying a word. Women, and even people in general, sense it instinctively. They fever in the way you speak, in the way you move, and even in the way you listen. And the incredible thing is, this energy doesn't need validation. You don't have to prove anything because your presence alone speaks volumes. Mature masculine energy also comes from being grounded. Life has tested you. You've faced challenges, heartbreaks, failures, victories, and you've come out on the other side not bitter, but stronger, calmer, and wiser. That resilience shows. It's in the way you handle stress, in the way you react when things don't go your way, and the way people naturally gravitate toward your calm assurance. Younger men might have energy, but they don't yet have this depth. And that depth, that's magnetic. That's what makes people notice you, respect you, and yes, even desire you. Here's the thing. This energy doesn't have to be loud to be noticed. In fact, the quieter, more grounded you are, the more powerful it becomes. You don't need to dominate conversations or make people laugh at your jokes to command attention. It's in the small gestures, the way you make someone feel understood, the way you hold your posture, the way your eyes carry confidence without arrogance. That's the kind of masculinity that gets remembered, that leaves an impression, that makes older men undeniably hot. Most importantly, this energy comes from authenticity. You don't fake it. You don't try to be someone you're not. You've grown into man you are, and you carry that energy effortlessly. People sense when someone is authentic. They can feel it in their bones, and it's intoxicating. Women in particular are drawn to it because it signals security, stability, and a kind of quiet strength that younger men rarely possess. And when you fully embrace this energy, when you own it without hesitation or doubt, you'll start to notice the way people respond to you. Doors open, conversations flow, and attraction happens naturally, effortlessly, and authentically. Sign number 3, your life experience makes you naturally attractive. One of the most powerful things that make a man undeniably attractive as he gets older is his life experience. And I don't just mean the years you've lived, though that matters, but the way you've lived them. Every challenge you've faced, every mistake you've made, every triumph you've celebrated has shaped you into a man with depth, wisdom, and perspective. Younger men may have energy, but they lack this kind of magnetic substance that only comes from truly living. And here's the thing. People can feel it. Women can sense it. They notice it in the way you speak, in the way you handle situations, and in the way you carry yourself without needing to brag. Think about it for a second. Life experience gives you a clarity that makes you calm in chaos, confident in uncertainty, and comfortable in who you are. You've seen the highs and the lows, and because of that, you don't panic, you don't overreact, and you don't waste energy on things that don't matter. That emotional stability, that wisdom is magnetic. It's the kind of energy that makes people want to be around you, that makes conversations feel effortless, and that makes every interaction meaningful. Younger men might talk a lot, try to impress or show off, but they can't replicate this natural gravitas that comes from experience. And here's the secret. Your experiences don't just make you wiser, they make you relatable in ways younger men can't be. People respect a man who's been through life, who has seen pain and joy, and who can talk about it without bitterness or arrogance. That's rare, that's magnetic. That's exactly what makes an older man hot, even if he doesn't see it in himself. You carry a story, a life that has substance, and that makes you attractive in a way that's deeper than appearance. Women don't just notice the way you look, they notice how you've grown, how you handle yourself, and how your experiences have shaped your energy. And here's something most men don't realize: this attractiveness doesn't require perfection. In fact, it thrives on imperfection. Every scar, every regret, every lesson you've learned adds layers to your presence. It's not about hiding your past, it's about embracing it. The way you've lived your life, the choices you've made, the resilience you've built, all of that communicates a quiet strength and self-assuredness that younger men are still chasing. When you start owning this, when you start realizing that your experiences are a superpower, your whole energy changes. People start noticing it, conversations change, respect comes naturally, and attraction starts flowing without effort. Sign number 2, you have purpose, direction, and stability. There's a certain kind of attraction that comes from having purpose, direction, and stability in your life. And I'm not just talking about career success or financial wealth, though those can play a role, but the kind of purpose that comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and where you're headed. When a man walks into a room with that clarity, with that quiet confidence in his mission, it's magnetic. People feel it. Women notice it. They don't just see a man, they feel his energy, his focus, and his drive. Let me tell you, nothing is hotter than a man who knows where he's going and every single day. Most men get lost in life, wandering aimlessly, trying to find validation from others or seeking approval in all the wrong places. But a hot older man, the kind who turns heads without even trying, has to direct. He's built habits, routines, and a life that reflects his values. He doesn't get distracted by fleeting trends or external pressures. His focus is steady, and it shows in every decision he makes. There's something deeply attractive about a man who's grounded in his purpose because it signals strength, reliability, and self-respect, all qualities that create a magnetic pull that younger men can't match. And it's not just about what you do, it's about how you live your life. Purpose shapes your energy. It gives your presence weight. When you speak, people listen because they know you mean what you say. When you move, people notice because there's intent behind your actions. That energy is magnetic. That energy draws respect, admiration, and yes, even attraction. Women feel safe around men with stability and direction because stability isn't boring, it's rare. And it's exactly this rarity that makes you irresistible. You don't have to try to impress anyone because your life itself speaks volumes. Even more powerful is the emotional effect this has. When you have purpose, you're no longer reactive. You're in control of your life, your decisions, and your emotions. You don't get pulled into drama or chaos, and that calm, centered energy is addictive. People are naturally drawn to it. Women are naturally drawn to it. It's the quiet strength that comes from knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you have the clarity and discipline to handle it. And that energy doesn't just make you attractive, it makes you unforgettable. The beauty of this is that it's entirely within your control. Purpose, direction, and stability aren't gifts, they're cultivated. Every decision you make, every choice you honor in alignment with your values strengthens this magnetic energy. The more you live intentionally, the more people notice it, the more women notice it, and the more you'll start to see yourself as the hot older man you've always been, even if you never believed it before. It's in your energy, in your consistency, and in the way you move through life with focus and determination. Sign number 1, your presence feels safe, strong, and grounded. One of the most magnetic a hot older man possesses is authenticity. True, quiet, grounded masculinity that doesn't need to prove itself. This is not about being loud, flashy, or forcing attention. This is about being completely comfortable in your own skin, owning you are, and showing up in the world without pretense. And the most amazing thing, people notice it instantly. Women feel it immediately, even if they can't put it into words. There's a power in a man who doesn't need validation, who doesn't bend to impress, who simply is. That kind of presence is rare, and that rarity is what makes you irresistible. Authenticity isn't just about honesty, it's about confidence wrapped in humility. It's about knowing your strengths and weaknesses, your passions and limits, and being unafraid to show them. It's about moving through life with a quiet assurance that says, I'm enough, without ever needing to announce it. Younger men may chase attention or try to be something they're not, but a hot older man doesn't play those games. His authenticity communicates trustworthiness, emotional stability, and strength. And these are the things that make him magnetic in ways that go beyond looks. The way you carry yourself when you're authentic is effortless. You don't overcompensate, you don't try too hard, and you don't apologize for being yourself. That ease, that comfort in your own skin, it's intoxicating. Women are drawn to it because it signals security. They feel it in your tone, your body language, your presence. And here's the secret. When you're truly authentic, you inspire others to be authentic too. That's power. That's attraction. That's the energy that makes people want to be near you, to listen to you, and to remember you long after you leave the room. And it's not just about confidence or energy. It's about depth. Authentic masculinity comes from knowing who you are, from experiencing life fully, from embracing your story without shame or regret. It's in the way you handle challenges, the way you speak to others, the way you remain composed when life gets messy. That composure, that grounded presence is irresistible. It's the kind of masculinity that younger men rarely understand because it takes years, experiences, and self-reflection to cultivate. And when you start embracing it, when you fully own it, everything changes. The way people respond to you, the respect you command, and the natural attraction that surrounds you. The real beauty is that this authenticity isn't something you acquire overnight. It's built, refined, and strengthened over time. Every choice you make, every challenge you overcome, every moment you show up as yourself adds to this energy. And once you embrace it, once you recognize it, you start seeing yourself the way others already do, as a hot older man, confident, grounded, and magnetic in ways that no one can teach you. It's in your presence, in your truth, and in the quiet power that comes from simply being who you are. So if ever doubted yourself, if you've ever looked in the mirror and thought your best days were behind you, it's time to see the truth. You're more magnetic, more confident, and more attractive than you realize. Your experience, your calm energy, your purpose, and your authenticity, these aren't just qualities, they're your superpowers. Own them. Step into that energy fully because the world notices, and so do the people who matter. You don't need to chase validation. You've earned it. You're a hot older man, and it's time you stop believing it